Hey, what's up guys? This is Demo from Team DemoRyX, and happy Saturday to Thursday. I don't know when this video is going up, but pretty much what we're doing today is doing a deck profile for my Unchained Evil Twins, which is a very popular deck right now. I wonder why that could be. What I could say right now is before watching this video, there's actually a video by another YouTuber called DireYGO, who actually commented surprisingly on my last video. And I would highly recommend checking out the video and checking out DireYGO's channel in general, because all of their content is really good. But with that out of the way, we've got a few things to cover today. We've got the deck, the extra deck, some side options, some budget options, and I'm going to give a few basic combos and some starting hands. If I sound kind of dead inside, it's 2:51 p.m. and I did not sleep last night. So let's get right into the deck. Let me move the extra deck out of the way, we'll cover that a little bit later. But to start off, the main thing you're going to be running is 3 Unchained Twins Aruha. You're going to want to see this in every opening hand pretty much. This is your main combo starter as long as you have one of the other Unchained cards. You're going to want to see this in the deck. You don't really want to hard draw into Rakia unless you don't draw Aruha. Sarama's not necessarily a Garnet, but that's not one of the main ones that you usually want to draw into. It's still a really good card, but the normal combo involves summoning it out from the deck so that you don't go -1 in your hand. After that, Abominable Unchained Soul. Whether you summon it from the deck or from your hand, it doesn't really make a difference. You're probably going to be summoning it turn 1 no matter what. And this deck can pretty much flex going first or second, but like with any other deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, you usually want to go first with this. And then the last card is 1 Unchained Soul of Disaster. These are the ratios that usually work the best, because you don't really want to draw into Unchained Soul of Disaster. You can work with Abominable Unchained Soul, he specials himself out, but I'm going to run down the cards and how they interact with each other later on in the video. But that's the main Unchained core. Next we'll move into the Live Twin cards. Of course, with the Live Twins we're running 3 Kiss to Kill and 3 Lila. They have pretty much the same effect. They have one extra part of their effect that involves battle phase, but that doesn't really matter. When it comes to the Live Twins, all that they really do is when they're summoned, they special summon out the other one from the deck, as long as you have no other Live Twin cards. Or no other monsters, sorry about that. Along with that, we run the 1 Backup Secretary. I'll probably replace that with Live Twin Lila Treat or Live Twin Kiss Kill Frost. When that comes into the game, I'm pretty sure Blazing Vortex is literally coming out this weekend, and I'm about to go to Sneak Peek in a few hours, so we can see how that goes. Just the 1 Backup Secretary is perfectly fine. Aside from that, we run our hand trap lineup, and depending on what you see in your locals and how you play the game and how you like to see it, you can change this around. Except for this. Who doesn't run 3 Ash? Seriously. You should always be running 3 Ash. Best card in the game right now. There's a reason that you run 3 of them in literally every deck in the game. Personally, I really like Ghost Mourner. It's not an amazing card. I just love it. I think it's cute. But for the main reason that it gives that extra little bit of burn, and it's pretty much an effect veiler that works a little bit better, is the best way to put it. And the last hand trap I run being DD Crow, which is a pretty good card in today's meta. I do have options later on that I'll explain. So first of all, you should usually be running Ash Blossom, but if you really can't afford it, whatever, there's other hand trap options. Ghost Ogre. What I usually recommend is, aside from Ghost Mourner, you usually want to be running a 3rd DD Crow. And right now Ghost Bell, despite being literally the best hand trap in the game, you want to be running that card, and it's pretty cheap. So I would really recommend you getting yourself DD Crow and Ghost Bell as budget options. Next, for the spells, we've got 3 copies of Abomination's Prison. That's your main searcher for Unchained. It can search any Unchained card. After that, you've got 3 copies of Sign Up Mining. Most of the time, you're actually going to be, as long as you draw into a Live Twin card, you're going to be using this to search out the Backup Secretary, because that pretty much gives you full combo. That'll let you end on a Nightmare Griffin and a pop. And the last spell is just 1 Called by the Grave. Doesn't really do much. Obviously, it's Called by the Grave. If you're going to get interrupted, you drop it, you win the game. Good card, want it back at 3. Now, since this is Unchained, you do have to run some trap cards. What you're going to be running is 3 Escape of the Unchained and 3 Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. If you're not comfortable running this much of it, you could do 2 and 3, but you're never going to want to run, 2 and 2. At that point, if you don't draw into them, you're going to be kind of screwed. Like, the deck is very reliant on you drawing into one of the trap cards and Aruha. And I'll show that in a later part with the combos. The last few cards I run in the trap lineup is that I run 2 IDP. You could definitely swap this out for pretty much any hand trap. The way I showed it earlier was I had 2 Ghost Mourners and 2 DD Crows. If I was to swap these out, I would get rid of one of these, put in another DD Crow, get rid of the other, put in another Ghost Mourner. IDP is a very expensive card right now, and it really shouldn't be. So I would recommend getting rid of the card. It also, it depends. You could also side it, but it's always up to you. The last card you would probably want to run is Imperial Order. I can't even describe how many games this has closed out for me. Imperial Order overall is like an insane card, and it's so stupid because for some reason I always hard draw into this. If you hard draw this card and you're able to draw into your Live Twin combo, you are locking your opponent out of spell cards and monster cards. So that's pretty much every meta deck. What's your opponent gonna do? They're gonna win with Virtual World Gate Chuche. Like, that's, once you get Imperial Order and Griffin locked, you're out of the game pretty much. With that out of the way, let's go into the extra deck. Starting with Unchained again, we're running 2 copies of Unchained Soul of Rage, 1 copy of Unchained Soul of Anguish, and 1 copy of Unchained Abomination. This is really just straight up, I'm gonna move this actually, it's bothering me. This is pretty much self-explanatory. You might be going into Soul of Rage more than once per game. I actually, out of all of my testing, and I've entered into my locals somewhat recently, everything like that, I actually never went into a second Soul of Rage, which is really surprising to me. You're gonna want to run at least one of the other 2 because the cards are honestly just really good. Aside from that, we've got our Evil Twin package, which is 2 copies of Evil Twin Lilla, and 3 copies of Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill. Yes, I know I'm broke. I'm running 3 collector's rares and then 2 ultra rares. I can't afford max rarity, man. I'll sell my IDPs and get some. Best way to put it, you need 1 extra Kiss-a-Kill because pretty much at the end of your combos, you're going to be linking off Lilla and Kiss-a-Kill into another Kiss-a-Kill to keep Lilla in grave. If Lilla's special summoned, she pops a card, so pretty much you want to keep this in the grave so you can special summon out with Kiss-a-Kill's effect during your opponent's turn. Aside from that, we're running 1 IP Masquerena. That's in order to make Griffin on your opponent's turn. We're going to be running 1 Link Disciple and 1 Link Devotee, which enables you to make all of your plays. We're going to be running the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Griffin, and finally 1 Access Code Talker. And this card is a degenerate card. As for a few options for cards that you could swap out, if you want to get rid of Access Code Talker, you could put in Boral Sword instead. You could put in, I was going to say Avramax. Honestly, the biggest issue is this card is just expensive. I think it'll be reprinted pretty soon because this card's busted. Like, it really shouldn't be as strong as it is, and it shouldn't be allowed to reign as much as it does because this closes you out a lot of games that you really don't deserve to win. Aside from that, I'll show my side deck, but it's actually it's actually not done. For now, I just threw together a side deck out of cards that I had left over from my other decks. So this is not the best side deck. I'm running 3 copies of Artifact Lancia, 3 copies of Nibiru, 3 copies of Gamma, 2 copies of Skullmeister, which is another great budget option if you don't want to run Ghost Bell or DD Crow, or, you know, Ash is too expensive for you. You're gonna want to be running the Skullmeister, Ghost Bell. They cover different things. I run the 1 Cyframe Driver, obviously. I run the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, and then I run 2 copies of D-Barrier for zoos or whatever it is that you're going against where you need to shut them down and you're going first in game 2. With the whole deck out of the way, I'm going to start showcasing some simple combos that you can start doing pretty much immediately with this deck. And honestly, the deck's very easy to pick up, and it does have a lot of options for continuing playing after hand traps or whatever it is that your opponent might have as an interruption. So let me show you the 2 basic combos, one with Unchained and one with Live Twins. Okay, so the first basic combo for Unchained requires 1 Unchained card. This could be Rakia, but Aruha is a little bit better because that doesn't use up your normal summon. And any Unchained trap card, you could do this with an Unchained monster too, but wow, does that end your turn. You're going to want to set the Unchained Trap card. You activate Unchained Twins Aruha, targeting the trap card, to pop it in order to special summon it. You activate the effect of the trap card on destruction to special summon out from your deck one Unchained Twins Sarama. You activate Sarama's effect, which allows you to set an Unchained card from your graveyard, and then pop a card you control, being Aruha. With Aruha's effect, you special summon out either of the Unchained Souls from your deck. Usually you're going to want to be going into this one, but you can go into either one in case you hard draw this. Then you link these two into Unchained Soul of Rage, which gives you one link during your opponent's turn and one interruption depending on what you do with this. If it's Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, most likely you're going to be special summoning back Abominable Unchained Soul, which is going to give you a pop. If it is Escape of the Unchained, then the other option that you'll have is that you could always pop a card that your opponent controls by sacking the Unchained Soul of Rage, but a lot of the time you might be able to get another Unchained card depending on what's currently in your hand. But with that out of the way, let me show you the Live Twin combo. So with Live Twins, there's actually two main combos that I'm going to showcase. The first one using just a single Live Twin, and the second one using a Live Twin plus Backup Secretary, or any extender pretty much. The reason you run 3 Signet Mining is so that you can search out the Backup Secretary in order to pull this off, but for now, let me show you the basic Lilla combo. With Lilla, you, as soon as turn starts, you normal summon, activate the effect of Lilla to special summon from your deck. Live Twin Kiss-a-Kill. If you get Kiss-a-Kill in your hand, you normal summon Kiss-a-Kill instead, special summon Lilla, it doesn't really matter. You link those two. If it's going first, you're going to want to link them into Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill. It doesn't really matter which one you go into because you can pull off the rest of this combo either way, but if you're going first, you go into Kiss-a-Kill to get the draw. If you're going second, you go into Lilla to get the pop. You activate the effect of Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill, which locks you into Fiends for the rest of the turn to special back. I don't know why I took special back Lilla. With that, you can link these two into Evil Twin Lilla. You activate the effect of Lilla to special summon back Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill from the graveyard. When Kiss-a-Kill is special summon, you get to draw one card. At the end of the turn, you want to link these two back off into another copy of Evil Twins Kiss-a-Kill. And with that, you're pretty much ending on a +1, and during your opponent's turn, you can special summon back Lilla using the effect of Kiss-a-Kill to pop a card that your opponent controls. There's actually been plenty of times where right before I was about to lose because I just didn't have a second combo in hand, I drew into Aruha, which, funny enough, I just did just now, and this would allow me to enable an Unchained play as well. Because you have to remember these lock you into Fiends, but all the Unchained extra deck cards, like Soul of Rage, are all Fiends. So, honestly, the decks have some level of consistency, but you won't be overlapping much with the decks as much as they could just play without disrupting the plays of the other. Okay, since we used Lilla last time, let's use Kiss-a-Kill this time, along with a copy of Backup Secretary. If you draw into Signet Mining, you're going to be going one less card in your hand compared to this, but you're going to want to have Backup Secretary if you're going to want to lock down your opponent. What you do is you normal summon Kiss-a-Kill and do the exact same thing, special summon Lilla out from the deck. With that, you special summon out Someone's Matter here, so this looks kind of weird, but you want to special summon out Backup Secretary. You link off Backup Secretary into Link Disciple, and you link off Live Twin Lilla, or whichever Live Twin you have there, into Link Devotee. With those two on board, you activate the effect of Link Disciple. It's pretty much a draw and then put back into deck. If you've been watching my series, it's the same exact thing that Endymion, the Magistus of Mastery, does. You tribute Link Devotee to draw a card, and then you put a card onto, what is it, the bottom of the deck. Yeah, this clearly I know my deck so well, but that's not really the relevant thing here. When Link Devotee is tributed, you get to special summon 2 tokens. I happen to not actually have tokens on me, so I'm just going to be putting these here instead. This is just some random commons from Phantom Rage that I opened earlier today. With your lineup like this, you send your tokens to the graveyard in order to make IP. With IP on board, you link these two into Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill. You activate the effect of Kiss-a-Kill to bring back Lilla from the graveyard. Then you link off these two to make Evil Twin Lilla. And it's not exactly necessary for you to put it right over here, but it always helps just to have the spacing in the right place. You can activate the effect of Lilla to special summon back Kiss-a-Kill, giving you a draw. And yes, I did not shuffle the deck, so I still have a Aruha here. During your opponent's turn, this is pretty much the board that you're going to end on. You're going to have Evil Twin Lilla, Kiss-a-Kill, and then an IP here. During your opponent's main phase, whenever they start to pull off their plays, you activate IP, linking itself and Evil Twin Lilith into Nightmare Griffin. This gives you kind of a really bad skill drain. At this point, you can activate the effect of Kiss and Kill at any time to bring back your Evil Twin Lilith in order to pop a card. And honestly, this is the main ending board that you want to try to pull off with Live Twins. You won't always get it because obviously you need to draw into a Live Twin and Silent Mining, or hard draw backup secretary. But this by itself can shut down a lot of decks. So try to get the hang of this combo. Make sure you know the spacing the right way, because if you screw up on knowing where the cards are supposed to be, then you're going to mess up the entire combo. With that, I'm going to do a couple of starting hands just to see what we can pull off going first. So let me shuffle this deck and see what we could do. Okay, so what I will say with this deck is that while I do think it's a lot more consistent than Unchained normally is, just due to the Live Twin package, I will say that it still bricks from time to time. So, well, I'll see what I can do even if we do brick. So going first, we draw into Sign Up Mining, huge. Live Twin Kiss a Kill. Abominable Unchained Soul. Called by the Grave. And DD Crow. This is not the most amazing hand in the world, but it's definitely not bad by any means. So arguably the safest play to pull off here would be to activate Sign Up Mining from the start, discarding Abominable Unchained Soul. As much as I love the card, it's not going to help us with this hand unless we decide to pop our own card using Lila. As long as our opponent doesn't interrupt and the Sign Up Mining goes through, we get backup secretary to their hand. If he does interrupt, pretend that he's got an Ash, Called by the Grave hits the grave. At that point, might look like we're a bit down, but thanks to the combo that I just showed off earlier, we normal summon Kiss a Kill and activate her effect. At this point, no matter when this happened, if our opponent interrupted at some point, they've already used their hand traps. We special summon Lila out from the deck, and then with that, we special summon out Backup Secretary. We link these two into the exact same combo that we were doing earlier. Link Disciple, Link Devotee. Sorry that it looks like I was going to link two, but kind of just explained this combo, so I don't really want to subject you guys to it. With that, we tribute this, draw a card. If it's a card that could actually continue our plays, we can keep it in the hand and swap out the DD Crow, but Sign Up Mining is not going to get anything for us, so we're going to put it back on the bottom of the deck. With the tribute, we set 2 tokens down, and we immediately link away the 2 tokens in order to make IP. With IP on board, we do the exact same regular Live Twin combo of linking these 2 off into Live Twin Lila, or Evil Twin Lila, sorry about that. Somehow I've been playing this deck since it released and I still don't remember their names properly. We use Lila's effect, special back out Kiss a Kill, and we immediately link these 2 into Kiss a Kill. Because of the way that I positioned my cards, I went into Kiss a Kill this time because I don't use my brain all the time. The smarter move would have been to get Lila so that you could get an extra draw. But either way, worst case scenario, you special summon back out Lila during your opponent's turn. Link. Well, let me actually go into this. So using Kiss a Kill, you don't bring back Lila right away if you mess up like I just did. You sit and bide your time. You've got DD Crow to banish as an interruption, and you've got a pop off of Live Twin. I keep calling it Live Twin. Evil Twin Kiss a Kill. During your opponent's turn, let's say your opponent starts with, I don't know, Drytron Nova, whatever. Activate the effect of Kiss a Kill. Special summon Evil Twin Lila from the graveyard. Your opponent summons out whatever card they summoned or activated or whatever. Lila's effect will pop that card. Immediately afterwards, you activate IP Masquerena. You immediately send it. You could send it and Kiss a Kill to the graveyard in order to make Nightmare Griffin. Since you've already activated the effect of Evil Twin Lila this turn, you are not going to get another pop at any point. The smart move would be if you are able to actually lock down your opponent with just this, or you're able to limit their plays with DD Crow, which DD Crow against, a lot of top tier contenders would be pretty good. By the way, if you guys hear noise in the background, please ignore that. This is usually enough to lock down a lot of higher tier decks, but in any case, you activate Evil Twin Lila at some point during the turn to special summon back out Kiss a Kill. and that'll give you an extra draw. Abomination's Prison sets you up nicely for the next turn, and you've got yourself a bad skill drain. I'm not saying the deck is, you know, a tier 1 or tier 2 contender, but it has its uses, and it can definitely work. And if this is what you go into during your next turn, if your opponent is forced to pass or something, this is huge. Once you draw Imperial Order and you have Nightmare Griffin on board, you pretty much win the game. Okay, so I'm probably going to do 1 or 2 more just because I want to show the Unchained part of this deck as well. The Live Twin part is super consistent because as long as you draw into any of the Live Twins, you're pretty much going to make it work. So let's see what we draw into this time. We draw Imperial Order, huge, huge. Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. If we draw Ruha or Rukia, we have full combo. Ghost Mourner, not bad. Unchained Soul of Disaster, and wow, that is a brick if I've ever seen one. So you know the funny part about this? You can still win the game very easily with this hand. So the main thing that you're going to want to do, since this is kind of a bricky hand, you're going to want to set the 2 trap cards, and that's pretty much where you pass your turn. As soon as your opponent summons a monster, activates anything, you're going to want to use Ghost Mourner first chance you get. Discard it, negate whatever the important summon for the deck that you're fighting is. If your opponent is able to play through that, but it's still a relatively fragile deck, you activate Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, discarding Soul of Destruction, specialing out Abominable Unchained Soul. This gives you at least a body on board. If your opponent is running a spell card based deck, Imperial Order will actually shut down certain decks, like Drytrons will just completely stop working if you Imperial Order them. Virtual Worlds, not so much, but this card, when you hard draw into this card, you can win the game with this card alone. So I would highly recommend, just if you're looking for other options for the deck, don't make Imperial Order one of the cards that you swap out. Okay, and this is the last hand that we're going to go into. We start with Sign Up Mining, still good. Escape of the Unchained, not bad at all. Called by the Grave. Ash Blossom. And another copy of Sign Up Mining, wow. This is horrible. So, because you've got 2 copies of Sign Up Mining, you don't usually need 2 of them. The main thing we're going to be looking for here is that we need the draw because this Unchained card is kind of useless. If you want to be safe, you use Sign Up Mining, discard Escape of the Unchained. If you want to be aggressive here, you start off by activating Sign Up Mining, discard another copy of Sign Up Mining. This gives you the search for any Live Twin card. You immediately normal summon out the Live Twin card, activate its effect to special summon out the other Live Twin from the deck. You immediately link those off into the regular Live Twin combo. I feel like this is a Live Twin deck profile, what the hell. To make Kiss a Kill, you activate her effect to bring back Lilla. You immediately link those 2 into Lilla. You activate Lilla, special summon back out Kiss a Kill, activate Kiss a Kill's effect to draw 1. That's not amazing, but it can work. The main thing that you're going to want to do with this, and this actually, like, this is a playable hand. This is a very playable hand. You immediately afterwards want to link these 2 off to get Kiss Kill alone on board. The best strategy here is you set these 2, keep Ash in hand. During your opponent's turn, as soon as they activate pretty much anything that you can chain to, if it's a card in grave, obviously use Called By, but you want to activate Evil Twin Kiss a Kill to special summon back out the Lilla from the graveyard. And you're not going to actually be using Lilla's effect on your opponent's card to interrupt them. You're going to be using it on your own back row to pop Escape of the Unchained. I did say earlier that there's not a lot of synergy between these cards, that they just kind of don't get in the way of each other's plays, but this is one of those few times that that's not true. With Escape of the Unchained destroyed, you can special summon 1 Unchained card from the deck, with Abominable Unchained Soul being a chain 2, to chain block any kind of Ash or anything like that. So you special summon out Abominable Unchained Soul. You can special summon back out, or you can bring out something like Unchained Twin Surama. Surama is usually the safest if you're able to lock down your opponent. Let's say your opponent starts popping off, and with, you know, Called By and Abominable Unchained Soul and Ash, you're able to shut him down. Surama will allow you to pop off the next turn to bring back Escape of the Unchained, and then keep the combo going. This is actually... This was a brick hand. Remember that. This is 2 Sign Up Minings, Called by the Grave, Ash Blossom, and Escape of the Unchained. So even with a bricky hand like this, you still make something like this. And this deck does play a lot during your opponent's turn. And when I say play a lot during your opponent's turn, I don't mean the gimmicky 50 negates during your opponent's turn. This deck has interactivity. You don't just spend 20 minutes comboing and make something incredibly uninteresting. At this point, I'm going to give you a couple of budget options, or at least alternate options if you're not considering the cards that I'm putting down. Ghostmourner is not exactly a necessary card. I told you I run it because I want to. You can replace this with another copy of DD Crow. If you really like IDP, I really wouldn't recommend it because of the sole fact that it's really hyped and expensive right now. But these two cards can very easily be swapped out. The other cards in the main deck, you can swap out Ash Blossom technically, but there's really no decks in the entire game that you should not be running Ash Blossom in. If you really need to, replace Ghostmourner with Ghost Bell or Skullmeister, or Droll and Lockbird is also really good, especially against Drytrons. Ice Dragon's Prison, I'm running 2 copies. I would just replace it with an extra of each hand trap that I only have 2 of. And Ash is such an important card, but if you really don't think you can afford an Ash, replace it with Ghost Bell. It's Ash. It's literally, I think it's the most played card in the game right now, but I obviously don't know the statistics. Some other options that you have for the extra deck would be, you can replace one of the Evil Twin Kiss a Kill. That is kind of risky because you're getting rid of your late game plays or any options that you have later on, because once you make the second Kiss a Kill, that means you have nothing left in the extra. Or you can get rid of one of the Unchained Soul of Rages. They're not the most necessary. I don't always need them, so it's a good option if you really need to, but you're going to need to keep one of each of these. You're going to want to keep all of these, especially the Unicorn. The interruptions with Unicorn using Unchained Soul of Rage is actually really huge a lot of the time. Access Code Talker, we talked about this before. You can replace it with pretty much any card in the entire... You can pretty much replace it with anything that you need in the deck. What I would actually bring up is, very soon they're releasing Blazing Vortex, very soon after this video releases. I think they already did the sneak peek. And an important card out of that you're going to want to get, or at least pick up for the future possibility of combos with this, is Underworld Goddess of the Closed World or something like that. It's a Link 5 that allows you to use your opponent's monster. Assuming that you've got both the Evil Twins and IP, you can actually, pretty much a weird way of putting it, but you can contact Link with your opponent's monsters to make the Underworld Goddess of blah blah blah. And even with IP, on your opponent's turn, you can link away your opponent's monster for it. This card is honestly a huge help. It gives you a Solemn Warning. It is unaffected by card effects unless the card's target, but then they also can't be destruction because IP Masquerena will protect against that. Something I would also recommend is Live Twin Lilitreat, which both of the Live Twin cards are getting a little bit more support. Kiss a Kill is actually the better one because that one gives you an extra draw, so it's just a +1 when you get your full combo off. But Live Twin Lilitreat is the one that's coming soon. We still have to wait probably like 3-4 more months for Lightning Overdrive to come out, and that's when Live Twin Kiss a Kill Frost will come out, and that's the one that's actually going to be really impactful for the deck, and that's probably the point where I would consider moving the sign-up minings and the backup secretary, because then those are kind of pointless. There's not much else for me to say. Play the deck a lot. You have to get used to it. It's one of those decks that you just have to keep playing, and then you'll get all the combos ingrained in your head. I've been playing Unchained since they came out, and I want to say Evil Twins as well, but it's only been like a couple of months now. Play around, have fun. This is a fun deck. This can easily be a rogue deck, or a very good locals deck if you know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but what I do know is that my deck profiles are definitely not the worst, and the decks that I run are still pretty reliable. Play around, have fun. Thanks for watching. This has been Demo. Have a great day and or night, and goodbye, guys.